Shaun, thank you so much for being on the Road to Community Reporter podcast and show. Thank you so much for just spending the time and obviously, sharing all your knowledge today. Do you want to just introduce yourself for everyone watching and listening, who you are, what you do?
Sure. My name is Shaun Tabor. I am known as the CRM Hobbit. I'm a senior solutions architect and Microsoft BizApps MVP. And I've been doing this for, good Lord, 13 years, 14 years now.
As long as I've been born, really.
It's since CRM 3.0. Since CRM 3.0, yeah.
That's amazing. That is so. It's business applications is your main area of specialism, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's amazing. And just to, there's a lot of guests on the show that obviously originate from BizApps because that's also my area as well. But we have got a few people that specialize in other areas as well. So, but really from a conference perspective for Microsoft Ignite, it doesn't really it doesn't really matter what actual specialism you have. Would you say that that's the right kind of assumption to make, or do you reckon it's kind of important from experience?
Well, I attended Ignite last year, and I was going in with that kind of same wonder. And to my mind, I actually thought it enabled me to get out of my comfort zone and see more things that I may not have even looked at.
That's interesting.
Right? Because it was not just BizApps. It was everything. But then I was able to connect the dots back to BizApps from the various places. Like I looked at a lot more AI than I probably ever would have last year before AI was so democratized within BizApps as it is now. I looked at a lot of that. I looked at a lot of stuff on the Office side, which I might not have looked at. Was able to look at a lot of the other different partners and vendors to see what they were doing in the space as well.
So what makes it so different in terms of what makes Ignite different compared to some of the other conferences you go to to have that differentiation? Because having because I suppose it's so easy to say, right, my area is business applications or my area is data and AI or whatever, and stick to that. What makes it so kind of like comfortable to be able to go and check other sessions out?
Well, because since the conference content is so broad, it gives you a way to really explore and understand more capabilities within Microsoft than just your specific field of expertise. So for a customer, because I'm a partner, so for a customer standpoint, I'm really looking at it like, okay, I might be interested in field service. I can go see layout and I can go see remote assist if I wanted to. But then at the same time, I could go over and talk to someone from Azure DevOps to understand how I might be able to optimize my development process. And then I could go over on the Office side and look at Visio and see how that connects to Flow, which connects to my field service, which connects to, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's much more, it's more full service for the end user and the customer, as well as with the partners, because there's so much more to explore.
No, that's really interesting and very enabling, because kind of that kind of interoperability is kind of where Microsoft is going with a lot of the technologies now. So so that would be good to know. So and I guess in terms of, let's start it off from, rather than mispronouncing specialism quite a lot, about 4 times now. I think I've got it actually. Let's see if it kind of continues for the next 10 or so minutes. So what would you say as an attendee your top 3 tips are for people who have never been to Ignite before?
If you've never been to Ignite before, wear comfortable shoes. For goodness sakes, you're going to do a lot of walking. For example, at the Orange County Convention Center, which is, I think it's called the Orange County Convention Center. It's in Orlando anyways. But at the convention center, the keynote is in a building completely separate from where the expo is.
Right.
So you're going to walk probably quarter of a mile. Probably from one place to another. And there's also really great things in the offsites at like the Hilton, I think it is. There's other things.
Oh, at the hotel as well. So it's not just at the actual convention center.
Right. There's stuff all over the place. So really review the agenda, really review what content's out there, because there's going to be, you don't always have to hit the big sessions. Here's a tip. Get those sessions where you can be more one-on-one, more direct contact with the speakers. And then when you go to the Expo Hall, they have replays of the big shows in the Expo Hall.
Okay.
It's a gigantic screen. But they have like 6 different ones, and you can put headphones on and listen to them. So you're never going to miss anything. Plus, all the really, really big sessions are recorded. So make sure that you're able to get the content that you want to see that may not be recorded. That'd be my tip.
Okay, so
you get more interaction.
You said so much there. What do you want to do as your tip 1? Is wear comfortable shoes, and then did you want to combine
yes, you wear comfortable shoes, and then tip 2, review the agenda.
Yeah.
Plan ahead what you want to see, because some sessions will get filled very quickly. So plan ahead, and then 3, make sure you have time for the expo and explore the expo. Look at areas you may not even think about.
What goes on there?
Expo is not only areas where Microsoft themselves have booths, but different partners and vendors have booths as well. And you can interact with them, understanding what products they have to offer. Microsoft Learn has a big presence, so you can learn about new things. They have hands-on lab. You could participate in those and get a lot of good information. I believe you can actually take certification exams at Ignite at a discounted rate. So double check that. I believe that was last year, but for sure. But
that's amazing.
There's a lot of learning opportunities at the Expo Hall.
That's amazing. So those 3 tips are amazing. I mean, the shoes, I guess, a lot of people say about the fact it's quite disparate, like the layout and everything. So that's, so I mean, that's a given for most conferences, right? Is you kind of just want to be comfortable, just ditch anything that, or take, 2 shoes if you really want to like have some flashy shoes and stuff. Just still take trainers, which are sneakers. Like that's like trainers are the British version.
I watch Doctor Who. I know what a trainer is.
You're like good, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
And it's interesting what you said about the like recorded sessions, right? And because so not all of them are recorded, but I really like the tip of the whole one-on-one, or try and go because the reason being is that interaction is that sometimes it's not just about going for the actual content, it's actually going for the relationships and the network. Because like when I think especially from the business application space, like a lot of us know each other from conferences, a lot of us know each other and talk to each other and everything, and have lasting relationships from them. I mean, it's not just obviously the people at Microsoft, but it's also the rest of the community. So I did really like that tip, and I would 100% recommend doing the same thing. Like kind of, it's interesting because like that session builder, is it right in the fact that you still have to register? Like you say, I'm going to this session, you have to actually pre-register for the sessions.
With the session, that's how the session builder works. But then you could always modify that, obviously, if your plans change. But yeah.
So a lot of them. So what I'll do for those people listening and watching is that by the time this airs, so we're recording this in September, this is going to be airing in October, and it's going to be out. So if you're listening or watching this right now and you've not done it right now, I will put the links all in here. They'll flash up on the screen. Just make sure you go and do it like right now, because some of the sessions are pegged to sell out almost, kind of from a registration perspective, because the rooms are only going to hold a certain amount of people. And how many people go? Is it like 25,000?
It's a ton. I don't know a number, but it's a lot. It is really packed, which is great. But
I guess for the atmosphere, right? But is there going to be like kind of one of the things I always I guess it's not necessarily worry about, that's kind of be the wrong word, but in terms of a lot of people are going to be they will see themselves as like more introverts. So they don't want to they find it challenging talking to new people. They find it challenging kind of going up to someone and hey, I'm Sarah, nice to meet you, what do you do? What would you recommend that, especially because one of your points was about having some one-on-one time with people, how would you recommend breaking the ice with someone you don't know?
Well, there's a number of different ways you could do it at Ignite. There is an actual area where you can interact with people based on your levels of interest, kind of like birds of a feather kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
There's also unconference sessions, which I'm going to be doing one of those, where it's not really structured. It's kind of more open. Plus, there's also areas where if you, let's say you get to talking to someone and say, hey, I'd really like to pick your brain on something. They have areas that you could reserve that are more for those one-on-one meetups.
That's cool.
So last year I used them for recording a couple podcasts, but same kind of thing applied. I met someone at the expo. I said, hey, you're on the product team. I'd love to, talk to you a little bit about this. And we were able to set up time in a little space that worked out really nicely. So there's a lot of opportunity. Everybody is very, I find that everybody's very open and very, happy to be there. One, maybe it's because they got time off work. I don't know, but they seem.
Or maybe they've just passed the certification.
Maybe so. They seem to be happy to be there. So I've never had an issue with, talking to somebody and saying, hey, can I pick your ear about something else? And it generally works out.
That's quite cool in terms of especially the different breakout areas and everything. And I guess that, everyone there is passionate about technology. So, I think that having the different areas, because it's probably going to be quite crowded in certain areas, just say, oh, hey, do you want to go grab a coffee or a drink? And then we can go get some actual time where I can hear you rather than like hear the background noise or the music that's going on or whatever. So, so that's actually quite cool. And you mentioned the podcast, but it's right that you're going to be recording in November, technically.
Yes. We'll be doing an episode of At Your Service.
Awesome.
Covering AI and the democratization of AI. And we'll also be doing a CRM.Audio from Ignite as well. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's going to be so good.
Professional booth and everything. So
it's brilliant.
Pretty neat.
That's amazing. There are I'll put some links for those. If no one's heard of CRM.Audio, I'm going to put some links and the At Your Service podcast. I'm going to put some links right now in the screen and obviously in the description below and everything. So definitely check those out because you've been running a long time for the podcasts.
Yeah. We've been doing those podcasts for over 3 years now.
That's epic. So you've got a lot of history if you've not heard this. Everyone who's watching.
Absolutely.
So from a people thing, so that's amazing. In terms of the content, you've mentioned the fact that you can do a lot of cross content. So one of the recommendations there is don't just stick to your area. Don't just stick to like kind of biz apps or data and AI and everything. And then you're going to come out of the actual kind of event with a massive network of people that are diverse from a knowledge perspective as well. So it's not just, again, going to be your area. In terms of the kind of activities to do at Ignite, what kind of stuff is there to do at Ignite? So let's just, we've covered the technology. What else is there?
So just from Ignite proper, you can do, like I said, there's a ton of learning with the Microsoft Learn investments, with the hands-on labs, with the certification courses, with there's also sessions where they're kind of guided sessions. Last year there was some, it was a combination of hands-on lab and guided learning, which was really cool. More like a, can't think of the word, but they had an instructor.
Like a workshop.
Yeah, and it was really great. And then there's also areas. One thing I really liked about Ignite, and they do this in a lot of the other Microsoft conferences, but there's an area of diversity where you could really interact with others in terms of diversity, and like they had pins about different things you're proud of, right? And areas of your work life that you invest in and things of that nature. And that really helped, I think, foster some interaction with people as well. So that's really cool. There's infinite amounts of ability within Ignite to start joining some kind of feedback group, or for example, at Ignite last year, I joined the group to pilot the Visio to Flow interaction.
That's pretty cool.
So when you go and talk to these folks from the Microsoft booth, they're not just there for their health, they're there for a purpose. They want feedback, right? So it's a really great way for you to engage with them if you haven't done that before. We as MVPs, we do it all the time. So it's kind of old hat. But if you're not in that kind of fortunate circumstance, it really gives you a way to interact with the product team, talk about your issues, talk about what you're wanting to see the product do, talk about, I have this kind of use case. What products should I be looking at? What vendors? What partners? That kind of thing. And then at the end of the whole thing, there's the big celebration, which is fantastic at Universal Studios. So
that's amazing. It's really interesting. Like, I'll definitely get to that celebration part, but in terms of the, that's a really good point, because I think, like, from an MVP perspective, we do, it becomes something that we do naturally, I guess, in terms of have that interaction with product team. But, there's only, a certain number of MVPs, and obviously the vast majority of people who attend Ignite aren't going to be MVPs. Right. So, definitely I can't echo that recommendation enough for those people who are watching and listening, in terms of go to the Microsoft stand and start getting these connections in this network, because that's one of the things I find valuable about being in the MVP program, is the network and the people that we can access and have and again, start meaningful relationships. It's about the providing value for them. They desperately need these, this feedback from us, and our customers. Absolutely. As well. So definitely, and also I kind of got excited when you said Visio. Like, I'm a little bit of a Visio nerd.
I am too.
So it's like the excitement I got when you said like Visio to Flow. I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I would have jumped for joy getting the opportunity. And that's the other kind of cool thing that you get, is the fact that not, from this output of the relationships, you're giving them feedback, but you're getting kind of like preview features that you wouldn't have otherwise got access to. And again, you get the feedback side of things, but it means that you get to learn, you get to again distribute that knowledge as well to the community and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely really, that piece of feedback is amazing from you, obviously not from the product team, but from a recommendation. And then you mentioned the celebration, which happens on Thursday, right?
Right. So much fun.
So this is in Universal Studios.
Yes, Universal Studios, both Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure.
Wow. Okay. So literally, is this the whole people in Ignite get to go and basically just swarm the place?
They herd us like cattle into buses and take us. Oh, it's so much fun.
That's amazing.
So it's kind of like, to me, it's like the reward for good weeks of work.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a great way, again, to talk to people, because you're in that kind of, like, for example, I went and got a lard lad donut, one of the big donuts from The Simpsons.
Oh, big so this, yeah. So I guess in England we call them just like iced ring donuts.
Yeah.
Is that like do Americans have a separate?
Yeah, no, that's right. But in the TV show The Simpsons, this donut's like this big.
Yeah.
Right, and it's so I'm like,
you actually got one that big?
Oh, yeah.
No way. Sure. You're
and
shitting me.
I'm chowing down on this donut.
Oh my god.
And there's a lot of people, so I'm by myself, but there's other people that are at the conference, and I'm looking up, how's it going? And then we just start talking about Power Apps. So it was kind of, nice little segue, but it was definitely an icebreaker. But
I love it. And was the actual donut delicious? Like that's what's going through my mind right now.
No, yeah, it was good.
Like, and like, you don't have to pay for it, or do you have to pay for them? So food and drink is free basically on this Thursday night. No way. So I can just go around like testing all the food, like being a professional food taster and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I'm not going to eat all week and just like kind of like save up all my calories for Thursday. On that donut, that's killing me.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Was there a decent amount of icing? You know what really annoys me about donuts? So iced donuts is when they don't put enough icing on it.
Oh no. Plenty of icing.
Oh my gosh. It was oh my god. Oh, you're killing me. Like it feels like, I know that people watching and listening really want to hear about Ignite, but it feels like we need to talk about this donut a bit more.
Well, and the Krusty Burger was pretty good too.
Oh wow, so you actually got a burger. What was in it? Was it like kind of like cheeseburger?
Yeah, but it was a Krusty Burger from The Simpsons as well.
You're killing me. Oh my god.
And then of course you can go over to Hogwarts and get some butterbeer.
So I've had Buider. So they have the Hogwarts stuff in England, right? And they have, so I don't know if it's the same like recipe and stuff. I mean, I kind of hope it's not, so that, I mean, it'll be American, so it'll probably be better than the stuff in England. It'll probably have like huge more amounts of sugar in it for a start. We're not allowed.
Do you know, I almost said, but yours isn't the real one.
No, and you're so right. Like, I know that this is so un-PC.
It kind of is because it's in England. So I'm thinking,
This is amazing. I love this though. I appreciate that this people may not see this as PC, but really I don't care because it's so true, is it? So we get so in England, just FYI, we get ID'd for like Red Bull and energy drinks here. We have some really crazy laws in terms of the fact that they really limit us in terms of the amount of sugar we can eat and the stuff that we're allowed to buy. So it's nuts. Like my husband has been ID'd for that kind of stuff before, and it's absolutely crazy. So the fact that you're spot on is that I expect way more sugar in that. So that's going to be on my list on Thursday, I think, because they're going to try and actually, proper real butter beer.
Yeah.
It'll probably be like 80% butter.
But probably. Well, and I bring it up because again, it is a great way to interact with other participants of the conference, right? Mm-hmm. People that you've met through the week. It's a way to say you have something to say. Hey, are you going to be at Universal?
Yeah.
And if they say, yeah, oh, well, great, let's meet up, we'll have a drink, or let's meet up, we'll, go ride Harry Potter or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a thing that everybody's doing that you can, if you're so inclined, you can use it to engage about technology.
Yeah, that's actually really good and definitely going to be. So if anyone wants to meet and eat a donut there, I'm going to be there eating donuts and definitely just being covered in icing. So that's my plan. It's like I'm going to book a calendar about just in case I forget or like kind of get anything else booked out. So I guess and
you can get an actual proper chocolate frog.
Oh really? No way.
Yeah.
So this isn't like in England they do the prepackaged stuff that isn't that amazing. Is this an actual real one? Like not a real frog. I don't want a real frog.
It's packaged. Well, no, it's not a real frog, but it's packaged. But the frog's probably about that big.
Oh, so yeah. So again, this just proves my point, right? In England, they're like this big. Like they are tiny.
No, that's about
that. So I am. Yeah, I need to write a to-do list. I think. So what I'll do in the description actually of this video, I'm going to put like a to-do list, the stuff that so everyone needs to do. If this is your jam, then you need to make sure that you do this. Those people that are listening and watching. So I know that I really liked how you link the food with people as well. I think that's kind of I mean I love food, but obviously there's a point to it. Especially from the context of Ignite. In terms of, going to this place and also probably the rest of the conference, what kind of stuff from taking things with you? Can you see my cat? So yes, that's my cat. She's getting a tiny little bit hungry. She's kind of a climber. She's just wanting to check everyone out. That's cool. She inspires me every day. She really does.
Luckily mine's still sleeping. So.
Yours will probably get wind of my one. Be like, what's going on there? There's another cat. Yeah. So from people, so in terms of what would you recommend taking with you? So especially from I mean this is something new for me as well. So normally I just take some jeans and shirts. Is it recommended to go with half a suitcase? Do I need a checked bag? Do I need to take Florida clothes? Because this is your area of the world, right? You kind of know the climate.
Well, okay, if you're in the States, I would say just normal, dependent on whether or not you have meetings for, work with Microsoft, dress appropriately, obviously.
Yeah.
But otherwise, jeans, polo shirts, t-shirts, that's fine. For the night at Universal, dress super comfortably, shorts, it's Florida, remember. Mm-hmm. It's going to be warm.
For those people in England, that means it's hot.
Yeah, that means it's hot. Yes, it'll probably be at least 70, at least.
Wow, guaranteed.
Probably. Yeah,
wow,
I would think. But yeah, it'll so just comfortably there. In terms of, it depends on if you're outside of the States. Coming in, depends on what else you're going to do. Obviously, if you're going to take advantage of Orlando and go to some of the theme parks, there's more opportunity for getting more stuff you're going to need to put in your suitcase. So then you might want to have a little bit of room in your suitcase. But for Ignite proper, I don't think you're going to run into a problem with your suitcase there. You'll probably get a swag bag. I got a very nice backpack last year that I still use.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And,
that's cool.
It's very, yeah, hold on.
Oh, wow. This is a treat. We're actually going to see it. This is like pre-swag information. So FYI, this isn't the bag you're going to get. This is just, that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
That's the bag I got last year.
That's amazing. So in terms of, is there other free, like, do people offer free stuff? Like, can you get free, like, t-shirts and stuff and hoodies?
I got some really cool, like, they definitely give these out at stickers like this.
I love that
community
stuff.
stickers,
Yeah.
at the Microsoft booths, and I got some cool DevOps stickers. Some of the booths do like t-shirts and stuff. So yeah, but I wouldn't want to guarantee anybody a certain bit of swag.
No, that's the thing. They're changing it up.
Yeah, if you work the Expo Hall and visit different places, you're gonna have more opportunities. And plus, different partners, different vendors typically have drawings and things like that to help their marketing, obviously. And so yeah,
that's cool. And there's the retail store as well. There's the retail store that's there.
Retail stores there, and typically on the towards, here's a pro tip, towards the end of the conference, stuff's marked down.
Oh, that is a good.
So they don't have
that's
to
amazing.
ship everything back.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, there's going to be. So obviously, you can't guarantee if things are going to be sold out and stuff because people would have bought them. But last day, I'm guessing Thursday, Friday. Yeah, they're going to start marking stuff down.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
But yeah, and I typically get a book or two every conference, and yeah, it's good stuff.
That's pretty awesome. Well, it's been amazing chatting, Shaun. In terms of all of those tips, I'm going to summarize them. We'll put all of your social links all in the description for those people listening and watching. But just to close it out, do you want to just like tell people what you're working on, some things to look forward to?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have, I'll be recording the podcast at Ignite, but I'll also be doing a 20-minute session about increasing profitability in field service via Power Apps. And that's going to be in the theater session. So I got to work on that Power App. But yeah, so I'll be doing that. And if you see me walking around, say hi, I'll be glad to talk to you. And maybe I'll have some podcast swag. Who knows?
That's amazing. I love that. So if people, didn't read between the lines, go and seek Shaun out at Ignite. He's got to have swag. I think that's amazing. Thank you so much, Shaun.
No
I
problem.
really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks everyone for listening and watching.